Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Did you get the morning wake up call? Finally, hi Laura. Finally, we have a batch of storms that held together. Last night they were way out in New Mexico and then they moved to about Midland, then they pushed toward the CBS Austin area. And through their trip through the hill country, they were somewhat manageable. But now you could see that the amount of lightning has started to decrease. But when the storms were over Burnett about an hour ago, there was a 60-mile-per-hour gust. And although the storms are weakening, man, are they loud. So I hope you are doing okay. Skippy is hanging out right here with me. He hasn't run out this morning because he's scared. So I got him hanging out with me, and Ewok is still in his crate. But I just wanted to let you know that in the green box, that is a flood advisory that's in effect currently for our area. And though the storms are technically not severe, they are strong. So I urge you to, please take it easy. If you don't have to be outside, then don't. I've got a friend who just texted me, her kids are going to a swim meet this morning. And I was like, nope, 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 nope. Wait till the lightning clears. And so slowly but surely this will start to fade out. On one hand, man, we love the rain, right? On the other, this is obviously not what was expected. You hear that thunder? It's so loud. So anyway, to put things in perspective for you, Bill, hello, good morning. Mike says lots of thunder in New Braunfels, not a drop of rain. Well, it looks like that rain is trying to head towards you, and we'll take a look at the zoomed in view as well. But at least for now, the biggest thing I want you to be aware of is the fact that there is a flood advisory for the area shaded in green, and this is going to be including spots from Burnett and Marble Falls through Leander, Cedar Park, Round Rock, and on toward the I-35 corridor in North Austin and Northwest Austin. Also quite a bit of lightning here. Good morning, Brian. You say, seeing at the Fort Hood area of near Colleen. Thank you so much. Rob says, wicked loud storm. I know, it's so loud. And the lightning show, what I should have done if I had been on my A game, I should have set up a camera outside my window so you could see the lightning, but obviously you can determine based on this. It is coming down. The rain is coming down. Jeff asking, will this hold it together for Lockhart? I'll take a look at the computer model suggestions, but it does look like it's fading fast. If you see anything reach Lockhart there in Caldwell County, it probably won't be super long-lived or super intense, but everything that's pushing toward Kyle and San Marcos, I mean, it's holding together enough that there's at least some rain. So there you go. Laura said thunder getting gnarly in Northwest Austin, I bet. Good morning, Eric. How are you? Thanks for checking in from Buda. Mick, what's going on? Larry, hello, hello. A bumpy morning for a change indeed. All right, so let's take a look at the flood advisory in specific. And also the reason that it's been issued is because we have had in Burnett more than 2.5 inches of rain, 2.68 inches of rain from that gauge there just a little bit ago. And actually, I'm going to have to update that shortly just to confirm that there haven't been any updates on that. In fact, I think I might be able to do that while we're chatting. So let me see if I can update that. Meanwhile, you're hearing the thunder. But as of yet, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, but there are strong storms. And I think there are a lot of people who will attest that sleeping in is not an option when the weather is loud like this. I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, here we go. All right, so I'm quickly going to refresh the rainfall totals for the area. Oops, and I just dumped out. Hold on. You don't see what I'm seeing, but I'm actually currently updating the rainfall totals, so let me get that done. And then as soon as I have done that, we will chat some more. But some pretty impressive rainfall has materialized from this, even though it's starting to die down. So my suspicion is that the areas that are currently, wow, that's such loud thunder. The areas that are currently getting the storms, it should gradually fade out, and what will be left behind will be kind of rain-cooled air. So my initial forecast was that today we would soar and just absolutely see another scorcher of a day. But given the fact that we've had this rain, I'm starting to wonder if maybe it'll be enough to kind of keep our temperatures down today before they really start to increase for tomorrow. So jury is still out on that, but just know that that's something that I'm keeping in mind as that possibility. Okay, so yes, I updated the rainfall total. All that work to get 2.72 for the rainfall total over the CBS Austin area so far in Burnett County. That looks to be the heaviest total. Laura says the storm's ridiculous. Yeah, it's so loud. I mean, just to give you the whole lay of the land, I'm going to go back in time and show you the last 12 hours. It may take a little bit for it to get all of the last 12 hours of data in, but once it does, you'll basically be able to see the track that these storms moved from out northwest of us. And there you go. You can follow them out of New Mexico, watch as they push across I-20, now across I-10. Mason County saw the storms, and then look how they blossomed. They absolutely blossomed. So you can basically see that for the longest time, it didn't look like this would be that big of a deal. And then, dun, 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 the storms really intensified, and now they are on a weakening trend yet again. But something interesting to see. So that flood advisory is in effect until 9:45 this morning. Boom, there you go. And obviously, if thunder roars, head indoors. You guys know the rules, right? So as of yet, we have a strong thunderstorm advisory for Travis County and Williamson County, an airport weather warning, just means lightning at the airport, a flood advisory for parts of Travis County and Burnett County and Williamson County, and that one's until 9:45. And then the strong storms that had been pushing through Burnett County have started to diminish. So that's kind of where we stand. And the next thing I know you want to be able to determine is how much more rain will there be. But first, let me show you the areas again that are in the flood advisory. And that doesn't mean we're going to see anything big in terms of flooding, but that does mean be cautious, because obviously in the middle of flash flood alley, it's possible that even with just a quick burst of 1 to 2 inches of rain, that we could see some short-term minor flooding. So Burnett and Fairland, Smithwick, Balcones Canyonlands area, just on the south side of Liberty Hill, Leander, Cedar Park, anyone who's in Northwest Austin, just north of Lake Travis, Lake Lane Mall area, north of 360 Overlook, and south of the Round Rock outlets through Round Rock and Wells Branch, and not quite to Pflugerville. That's where the flood advisory is in effect. Sally Wood, hello, hello. Thank you for checking in on this loud and rainy morning. Okay. Oh, you're going to ignore this. This was my hour-by-hour forecast. I thought I had a different computer model in here. This was from earlier in the day, and that's looking ahead to Sunday, because obviously I had my show together from yesterday. But I thought I was 99% sure. Now let me go check it to be sure. 99% sure that I put in a little short-term computer model, and I will go through it. And this would be kind of like the high-resolution computer model. That will kind of show you the future track for what to expect in the coming hours. So let me pull that up, and here it is. Let me load this up, and this should, if all goes according to plan, show you the hour-by-hour forecast for the next several hours. So we will let that load up, and then you'll be able to kind of gauge where we stand for the rest of this morning. Okay, so it's going to start kind of on a wider view and then zoom in. But in general, it looks like the storms are, projected to pretty much fizzle. And then into tonight, I should say, toward tomorrow morning. A secondary system right now is showing that it likely will also fizzle. I feel like there's one other better look at a computer model that I can show you, so just bear with me and I'll pull it up as well. Out of curiosity, I'm also going to check this one. This is going to show possible rainfall, but I think it starts tonight, so disregard that. See, this is what happens whenever I am not expecting that I'm going to need all my ducks in a row, and so we kind of do things on the fly, which is what I'm currently doing for you. Okay, so let me go ahead and at least give you regular radar while I futz around. But in general, this is all weakening. The amount of lightning is decreasing. It's likely that we will see some pockets, some really good pockets of 1 to maybe 2 inches of rain. But you can definitely see the intensity of the lightning has diminished. Hello, was that loud enough? That was so close. so close. That's a good example of making sure when thunder roars, you stay indoors. Like, ooh, I just got chills. That was so close. So anyway, not as much lightning. Things are decreasing in intensity, but obviously anytime you have these loud storms in the morning, oh my goodness, it's kind of a jolt to the system. All right, so there's radar. And meantime, I should be able to pull up that other computer model that I wanted to share with you. I just have to find it within my show, so bear with me while I hunt and peck. By the way, we are not under a risk of severe thunderstorms for today. So these are just kind of rogue leftovers from what we had seen earlier up. Okay, so here, this is something that I can show you that I think will be of value. This is going to show you how much additional rain is being projected for the rest of us. So as you can see, obviously the Austin number is not quite right given the fact that it is raining in Austin. But in general, the blues are pockets of maybe a ½ inch of rain or so. But it's not at least being picked up by the computer models, which frankly, the computer models have been doing an atrocious job lately. But it's currently not being picked up on computer models as being a big deal. And I think this is going to start out wide as well. But in general, this will be a little bit of a closer view. This is 8 a.m., and then here's 9 a.m., and then here's 10 a.m. So the storms, if they hold together, are probably going to be kind of continuing to push east of the I-35 corridor and weakening as they move across the rest of our area. So I hope that at least gives you a little bit of guidance. Also, let me go ahead and show you, this is the precip comparison for the next 24 hours. So this is going to show how much two different computer models are suggesting could fall. The one on the left-hand side is much more bullish than the other, but you can see at least some rain being projected by these computer models over the next 24 hours. I think we're starting to quiet down a little bit, but some of those were really, really loud lightning strikes. So I don't know about you, I'm kind of glad to have things settle down a little bit. Okay, let me pull up our tower cam. I'm not sure if there's going to be a camera active. I may actually have to manually get an active camera going, but we have the technology. We can make this happen. As I load up. Oh yeah, here's tower cam. Well, it's sitting on the chase bait camera, but maybe if we sit on this thing long enough, you might be able to see some lightning in the distance, although we're actually looking in the wrong direction for the lightning. I may be able to pull up a tower cam shot though, which would be of more use. And temperature right now is at 71 degrees. So just so you'll know, that trace was from earlier, from last night. But 71 degrees, thunder in the vicinity, some areas picking up heavier rain, and the latest issuance from the National Weather Service was strong thunderstorm outlook through 7:30 a.m. for Williamson, Travis counties, winds up to about 40 miles per hour. So let me also go show you, I'm going to show you the temperature map, and then we'll go back and we'll show you the projected wind speeds as well with this thing as it is going to be pushing through. Stephanie said, missed that it was coming. So bringing horses in so they don't get muddy before that. Yeah. So honestly, last night this was showing up, but the computer models have been so atrocious that although I said it was possible, I didn't think they would actually hold it all the way into the I-35 corridor. So Stephanie, that one's on me. Oh, Karen is reporting power out in Leander. Thank you so much for that report. Let's just check real quick. Poweroutage.us, and I'm going to pop this up and see if we can pinpoint whether there are any other areas that are experiencing much, if anything, in the way of power outages. So let me go ahead and show you this window here. And this is going to be the power outage map for Texas. So you said that Leander had some power outages. It does look like there are 2,600 customers out for Pedernales Electric Cooperative in Williamson County. So it's pretty localized, but as of 6:56 this morning, about 2,600 people are without power in Williamson County. Let me check. I think Burnett County might have some outages as well. 104 people are out in Llano County, actually. That's Central Texas Electric Cooperative. And let's check in on Burnett County, which I thought I clicked on that one the first time. 208 customers are out in Burnett County. This is Pedernales Electric, and it looks like those are the primary ones. Let me see if anybody in Travis County. 87 people are out of power with Pedernales Electric, and 2 customers are out for Austin Energy. So yes, there are some power outages. Thank you so much for passing that along. Let me also show you, I'm gonna pull up my Twitter because, oh, it's gonna take forever to show. I was gonna share with you a gorgeous lightning shot from the Liberty Hill area. Let me pull that up. Isn't that beautiful? This is from Phil Ostroff, and gorgeous lightning. So unexpected storms this morning in Liberty Hill, Texas. Crazy amount of lightning. Oh, Sherry, sorry about the sound being low. How's that? Is that better? Let me know if that's better as far as the sound is concerned. And thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. I'm not sure. Oh, you've got a photo in that link. I don't know if I can click on it, and if I do, what happens. But you know what? Just for kicks, let's see what happens if I click on the link. Okay, I just clicked on the link. Oh, that's cool. I can show it to you within this thing. So we can see Sherry's got a photo of what looks to be, or actually a movie. Let's take a look at Sherry's movie. And that's the first time I've actually clicked on a link within the Facebook thread. How cool is that we can actually see it pop up? So Sherry, thank you so much for taking the time to upload that for me. This is new and exciting, being able to see that. Let me go ahead and take this off, and we'll put radar back on. It at least appears that things are quieting down. Some of that lightning earlier was incredibly loud. Okay, go back to the radar view, and there you go. So definitely if you're in the hill country, things have settled down. Most of the storms that were pulling toward Austin have also started to quiet down quite a bit as well. So now I'm wondering, since I went into that movie from Sherry, I'm going to see if I can back out and whether it pulls up the Facebook comments again, or if I've doomed myself to not be able to see the comments anymore. Huh. Looks like we made the comments go away. But luckily, I can actually follow along on my phone, and we can make this work. Still hearing the rumbles of thunder, but on radar, things have started to diminish, that's for sure. Let me zoom in a little bit more closely. And so the areas seeing the heaviest rain currently are going to be Round Rock and through North Austin. And even downtown Austin, you're seeing some of the downpours, but the heaviest of the rain and storm activity currently is pushing through Cedar Park, Round Rock, Wells Branch, out toward Pflugerville, the Domain, Lakeline Mall area, just north of Lake Travis, just north of the 360 overlook. And then we've got some rain that's continuing to steadily head its way through downtown Austin. It's now pushing east of Mopac, heading across I-35 and moving east toward Montopolis and points to the east. So heads up Decker Lake, Weberville, Littig, Manor, you're going to start to see this push in. Anyone in Pflugerville, anywhere east of Pflugerville, you're going to see these storms roll through. They are weakening. They are not severe at this time. But yes, we're definitely experiencing a morning of storms. I, for one, am thrilled to get the rain. I will take that anytime. Laura says power is flickered on and off. You lost internet too. Oh, bummer. Well, I'm glad that you're able to follow along on your phone at the very least. Let me know, has the audio improved? I turned it way up, and I apologize profusely every time something's not right, but just let me know if the audio has improved. I think I have it turned up sufficiently, but if not, I mean, I can also do this. I don't know if that is blasting you out with music or what's going on, but hopefully you can at least see a little something. Ken says loud with thunder and lightning in Pflugerville. Thank you for that report. Rob said feeling your sister and her family woke up early in Cedar Park. Sherry says yes, very loud. And the beginning of Scooby-Doo, Rob making a reference there. Sally says calm now in Lago Vista. So it has moved out of the western side or northwest side of Travis County. And I'll also shrink down the size of the lightning as well so that we can see that too. And I'll turn it to the smaller lightning, the gentler lightning. So the smaller lightning. I'm actually also going to stop this right now, and I will query the number of lightning strikes. So from HEB Center to Norman Crossing, to downtown Austin. Number of lightning strikes currently is 140, and that is down significantly from what it had been earlier. But obviously, lightning is something you don't want to mess around with, so do take care. It has certainly dropped off quite a bit, even though we still hear dun 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 the lightning. All right. So I haven't heard anything. Oh, Rob says the audio has been good on your end. Thank you so much for the feedback on that. I was about to say I hadn't heard anybody respond to whether the audio was working for them or not. And if it's not, I apologize. I suppose I could turn this up and find out how it sounds. So on my phone, it sounds fine, just from what I looked. But I'm sure it was probably not fine earlier. You know how that is. Laura said, figured I was being quiet, so I didn't want to wake up my kids. Sound levels are good. You know, ironically enough, my daughter is sleeping right behind me and has slept like a rock. And of course, I've got Skippy right below me. Although my husband's right under me because our master bedroom is like below me. And it wouldn't totally shock me if he's like, why are you so loud this morning? What's your problem? Sally says, I sound fine now. Good to hear. Okay, good. At least you all can hear me. I appreciate that. And as always, I appreciate you guys and your kindness as far as me and working through things. The only thing I can't figure out is whenever Sherry showed that link, I was so excited that I could put it in on this feed, and then it went away. So I'm trying to see if I can get the stream chat to pop back up again so I can see your comments actually in this Facebook Live as opposed to, and it shows it's still picking everything up, but it just isn't posting it. I think when I went to that other box, it kind of messed with it, which is fine because I can follow along on my phone. David, you say it is pouring in Cedar Park. Your backyard is a swamp. Isn't it crazy that we go from having not any rain to having too much rain, at least in a short period of time? So if you're joining right now, time is 7:10, and the green box is a flood advisory, which is one step below a warning. Basically, there's rain, and there's been some decent amounts of rain, so much so that the National Weather Service said, you know what, we are going to pull the trigger on this flood advisory as a precaution, just because there are some areas that get really flashy, and it doesn't take much to cause some flooding. I'm actually going to refresh the rainfall totals, and we'll see how they're looking in the Travis County area, and it's unfortunate Williamson County isn't, with the exception of Florence, doesn't have LCRA gauges. Go figure, it's because it's not along the Colorado River, and that's where all the LCRA sites generally hover around. So getting rainfall data in Williamson County is a little bit more tricky, but I can show you the updated totals from the LCRA from Travis County. Let me pull that up, get to that part of this, which is easier said than done. Where did it go? We had it just a bit ago. Oh, here it is, just right next here. Okay, so this is going to look at rainfall totals, and it looks like the totals in and around Travis County are not nearly what they were in Burnett County, where we had 2.73 inches in Burnett County earlier. And as we take a look, only 11/100ths northwest Austin, about a half of an inch out near the north side of Lake Travis, near Balcones Canyonlands, and over Lago Vista. So Sally, you probably picked up about a half an inch of rain, but there are some indications that there may have been in this yellow some pockets of heavier. So I'll go ahead and query some of those. So yeah, it looks like right underneath some of the heaviest storms, there may have been 1 to 2 inches of rain that fell during this area. Sylvia said the sky was looking interesting, but now dying out before hitting South Congress and Stastny. Mary says it is raining in San Marcos. Thank you for your report. Rob says Lake Travis will take every little bit. I hear you, absolutely. The lake is low. It's not as low as it was back during our 2011-2012 drought situation, but it's currently about 16 feet below average for June. So definitely a significant need to get rain early, often, and plenty. And in order to help the lakes in general, we need that rain to fall upstream, which would mean Lake Buchanan area, Pedernales Falls area, and then it has to trickle down. So let's say if there's a bunch of rain that pools from Mason to Llano to Lake Buchanan, that will filter into Lake Travis and the Highland Lake system, which is fantastic. But if all the rain were to fall, say in Bastrop, it would do Lake Travis no good because everything flows downstream toward the Gulf of Mexico. But yeah, you've seen some decent rain in a few spots so far. Let me go back to the radar again, and it does continue to weaken. So San Marcos area, you probably are just getting some passing showers as opposed to heavy, steady rain. And so really the cluster of the heaviest storms is just what's going on right now from just east of downtown through Cedar Park, Round Rock, and Wells Branch. Basically is where the heaviest of the rain and where the most active lightning continues on. So Pflugerville, Wells Branch, the Domain, North Lamar areas all seeing some of the heavier downpours as we speak. And thankfully, these are not severe. So I will tell you, there was a little piece of me saying, I really hope that the National Weather Service doesn't pull the trigger on a warning with these things. Also, I'm curious to see what the motion is on these storms. So let me go ahead and get a storm motion. And it looks like they're moving about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So I'll go ahead and do a storm track just to give you an idea of the leading edge for those of you who haven't had the rain yet. And just keep in mind, this may be a little bit off just because of the fact that the storms are trying to fall apart. But we'll basically take the leading edge of the main batch and we'll pull it off toward the southeast at about, let's say, 25 miles per hour. So just to give you a ballpark figure, granted, there are still some storms already into portions of Bastrop County, but the heavier batch, if it holds together. Right now the time is 7:15, so over Garfield, 7:17 for Creedmoor, 7:20 for Norman Crossing, Circuit of the Americas, Del Valley area about 7:25, Weberville about 7:27, 7:29 for Littig, 7:34 Lund, Copeland 7:35, Elgin 7:39, and Wolf Dancer Golf Club right around 7:43. Let's hope nobody has tee times that they're waiting on, but I have a hunch on a Saturday morning people probably did make early tee times because they wanted to beat the heat. Speaking of which, I'd be curious to see how temperatures respond after this rain that we have seen. I'll go ahead and put this back into motion for you so you can see this is over the last hour. Definitely a diminishing trend. Look at how much less lightning there currently is pulling across the area. Let's also check in and see how the wind gusts have been with this. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the wind gusts and see how we fared on that. Earlier there was a 60 mile per hour wind gust that pushed across Burnett at Craddock Field there, and I just have to find where my wind is. It's there, I know it is. There it is, wind gusts. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the wind gusts. Wow, hello Burnett. How are you this morning? So yes, that was that wind gust. It was at 5:21, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is when the wind gust was reported. Also worth noting, there might, it's not a sure thing, there might be some small hail, perhaps in the heaviest of the storms. Let me go to the hail tracker as well. Not big enough for a warning, but let me go ahead and pull up hail tracker, and there's a little tiny bit. This purple is where the small hail could be, so don't discount the possibility. And it looked like earlier over Cedar Park there may have been, actually, let me go back in time, right about 6:47 this morning. Current time is 7:17, so about 30 minutes ago there was a little hail core just east of 183 and HEB Center area and right along probably near Whitestone in 1431, and there may have been some hail that fell in that area, but the current view from our hail tracker is showing that there could be some small hail perhaps on the east side of I-35 and on the east side of the 130 toll road, so possibly some hail near Parmer, Harris Branch, the 130 toll road near Highway 290, Austin Executive Airport, Pflugerville, and near Manor as well. Nothing severe, just kind of giving you a heads up that there could be a little bit of hail. And even the hail core from this latest update, it had earlier some brighter colors, and it's the dark purple, which basically corresponds to the idea of maybe some pea-sized hail at worst. I'm just happy for some rain. Like, keep that rain coming. Just, make it a little quieter the next time. So there you go. Heaviest rain currently with that storm through the northern half of Travis County and the southern portions of Williamson County, tracking toward Manor and now eventually pushing toward Bastrop County. Let me see. It's much better when I can actually see your comments on the fly while I'm doing the chat, but Sherry, we have learned a lesson. If I click on a Facebook link while we're doing the chat, my comments go away. But I may experiment with this because I kind of thought it was cool to be able to pop that up right as we were doing it. Just my 2 cents. All right, I'm going back to monitor Twitter and make sure that nothing new is coming in, which I don't believe it will be. The storms really have weakened as long as they stay below severe weather criteria, which is quarter-sized hail, 58-mile-per-hour winds, or a tornado. We're not seeing tornadoes with this. The winds had maxed out earlier in Burnett County at 60 miles per hour, but the gusts through the Austin area have been much lower. And then in addition to that, the highest hail indicators have been below 1 inch in diameter. So not severe, just, loud and keeping you guys on your toes. Strong storms. And if you do have outdoor plans later on, just keep in mind that rain-cooled air may actually hold temperatures back so that they won't be quite as awful later on in the day. I'm going to go ahead and pop up one of the computer models that has some of the potential high temperatures for the rest of the day. And this is the NAM computer model, is showing 92 degrees, which beats the 97 I was suggesting earlier. And this one here shows 95 degrees. That's for today. What about for tomorrow? The top one is showing 98 for tomorrow. The bottom one is showing 100 for tomorrow. And finally, as we look ahead to Monday, the top one is showing 96 and the bottom one is showing 102. So, we've definitely got some potential for some heat, significant heat for that matter. So, yeah, take that for what it's worth. Let me pull this back and we'll be back on the radar view. All right, let me check more. Rob says I should do a recurring podcast one day about weather, hear stories about past storms and what it's inspired within my career. Maybe. In my spare time, because I've got all this time all the time, right? Laura says that was a crazy hour. Nice to have it quieting down. That is for sure. Laura says, Rob, definitely quieter than a half hour ago. Still lightning and thunder. Laura heard hail for about 30 seconds on the patio near Lakeline in Northwest Austin. Thank you for your report. I'm glad it wasn't damaging hail. Rob said this hail was probably in your sister's part of town. Oh yeah, find out if they got the big wake-up call you ought to. You're saying hoping that band in Spicewood gets to Oak Hill. Let me pull it a little bit out. And also worth noting, even the heaviest rain has pulled out, but we do still have some lighter rain that's still canvassing parts of the hill country, which is actually nice and beneficial. Ooh, can I show you something fun? Fun weather fact. If you look really closely, you're going to see it almost seems like this back here is spinning. You know what this is? It's called an MCV, which stands for a Mesoscale Convective Vortex. And with a Mesoscale Convective Vortex, you basically have a system that is spinning through, pivoting with it some energy, and that's basically what has generated and amped up the atmosphere is this MCV. And if you look like the back edge kind of pivoting and spinning through Kerr County, Gillespie County, Kendall County, and then it's going to work its way off toward the north and east as we continue through the rest of the day. So that's kind of fun and interesting to say the least. There's one more update. A strong thunderstorm advisory has been put out for eastern Travis and central Bastrop County. That's until 8 a.m. I will go ahead and show you that on the other computer as well. And typically whenever there's a strong thunderstorm advisory, that means that yes, there are some strong storms, but in general it's below severe limits, so there's no warning per se that has been put into effect. By the way, for those of you who are on Facebook right now, if you ever are wanting like up to the minute updates, like nonstop anytime there are storms, if you have Twitter, and if you're not following me already, it's at Chicago Weather, which is right here at the top of your screen right here, at Chicago Weather. Follow me on Twitter because I have my account set up to anytime, even if it's not a severe storm, which in this case, this is what's called an SPF, a special weather statement. Even a non-severe storm, if the National Weather Service is like, this is getting strong, I'm kind of thinking that I should give people a heads up, this will automatically trigger on my Twitter so that you can get the updates that you need. Obviously, this would be overkill if it were on Facebook, especially the way the Facebook algorithm works, where it will, oh, I bumped my knee. The Facebook algorithm, the way that it works, where it will sometimes pop into your feed like the next day, and you're like, yeah, that was yesterday's weather. But on Twitter, it's pretty much, instantaneous following the storms as they develop. So the latest from the National Weather Service, 7:21 a.m., Doppler radar tracking a strong thunderstorm near Manor, 9 miles southwest of Elgin, moving southeast to 25 miles per hour. We already looked at that indicator of some possible hail that was basically near the 130 toll road Pflugerville, which is now pushing eastward into Bastrop County. And it just says minor damage to outdoor optics is possible, and that would be from some small sub-severe hail. But really, this is the biggest part of the storm, the strongest part of the storm, and all of it is working its way off toward the east and southeast at about 25 miles per hour. So there you have it. Now let's go back to the radar again, and I will show you that here on our system. It is getting quieter. Some of that was so loud earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and make the lightning a little bit stronger, a little bit smaller, I should say. And I will put it into current mode, and let's go ahead and take the leading edge of the storms, which are now pushing through eastern Travis into western Bastrop County. And we'll basically do this, and we will track to the southeast at 25 miles per hour. Okay, so that's going to give you Wolf Dancer Golf Club. We're right around now. Wildwood, 7:35. Current time is 7:25. 7:38 for Elgin. Cedar Creek, 7:40. Elgin Airport, 7:42. Sayersville, 7:43. Phelan, 7:47. Camp Swift, 7:50. 7:51 for Bastrop, and 7:53 for Lake Bastrop as far as your timing is concerned. And those of you who are wondering, what is said green box? It's a flood advisory. The heaviest rain fell in Burnett. 2 3/4 inches of rain fell there. Let's see. Another big clap of thunder, said Laura a bit ago. Rob says, can't say you're a fan of that. And you say, taking after your old mile-a-day streak. Oh, I'm so glad you're doing that. Like, getting outside and being active is so awesome. So keep it up. And I know not everyone is a runner, which is kind of my thing, but maybe it's walking, maybe it's swimming, maybe it's hiking. Have you guys ever heard of plogging? So my sister, which I think is such a great idea. My sister has taken a liking to plogging, which is basically jogging or walking while you're picking up trash. And so she will bring a bag with her whenever she's walking her dog, for instance, and she'll just pick up trash, like either in the neighborhood or wherever she happens to be when she's out and about. And some of the stories for things that she will find are crazy, but it's kind of a nice thing. She's helping the environment, cleaning up the earth at the same time as she's getting in her exercise. I think that's pretty cool. Boy, look at how the storms have really weakened recently. All right, let's see. Sylvia says, hopefully the drought areas north and west got some good rain soaking. I think that it has been a beneficial rain for the hill country. And as long as we don't have warnings, we are good, which is certainly something to appreciate. Rob says you can see me doing a podcast. Awesome for folks who stink at math, but weather fans like you. You know what? It would be fun to do something like that. I will tell you that the amount of time and production and energy that goes into, like, if you see something that's like a really well done podcast on YouTube, for instance, there's a lot of work that goes into that kind of thing. And honestly, I struggle as it is to even like make it through a day sometimes because I've got too many things on my plate, which amazes me because I feel like back in the day that I was able to juggle. I could have like 8 balls in the air and I was able to juggle, which in real life I can't actually juggle, but you get the idea. And honestly, lately I just feel like it is a struggle to be able to check all the boxes. I'm a list maker. Even if it's not like a physical list, I like mentally make lists. Just checking the boxes off. Like last night, I went to bed even though I had a load of wet laundry in the washer that I needed to put in the dryer because the dryer was still running. And so in my head, I was like, I am literally going to bed, even though I know that there's going to be wet clothes all night long in the washer that I really should put in the dryer. And I'm like, I didn't check that thing off the list. So I'm one of those people. And so if I were to add podcast, that would just be one step too much. Hope you are so welcome. Hope you're doing well. It has been forever. I was chatting with my husband not long ago about back hanging out at the swimming pool. So nice to have you chime in. Ken says heavy rain, thunder in Pflugerville. Yep, the worst of the storms now rolling across eastern Travis County into western Bastrop County. Granted, they are no longer nearly as strong as they were as this MCV, the Mesoscale Convective system, is starting to diminish. But the heaviest of the rain is currently over Manor and moving east from Pflugerville. So Ken, you're probably going to see things continue to decrease in intensity for you. And it's just light rain now in Round Rock, still some lingering thunder in the distance. And then Austin, you really didn't get much. I'm curious. I'm going to check and see how did Camp Mabry do with the rain. Let me pull it up and then I will go over to my other screen so you all can see. Hey, better than nothing. We're not going to get too upset, but at Camp Mabry, bing, 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 0.27 inches of rain. We'll take it. Thunderstorm, heavy rain, fog and mist, 1 mile visibility, winds variable with gusts to 21 miles per hour, temperature 71 degrees, and in the last 1 hour, 27 100ths of an inch of rain. All right, so that's not too shabby. Now let me go ahead and check in on ABIA and see how the airport did as far as rainfall is concerned, and I will pull that up for you as well. Let's see. Oh, it looks like the airport hasn't registered the rain just yet. I don't know if it's because it skipped the airport. Let's investigate. Sometimes the reports are a little bit delayed. But as we take a closer look to southeast Travis County near the airport, look at ABIA right here. And there have been some storms that rolled through. I think they just haven't hit the observation gauge. Maybe that will update in the next hour or so. But here is a look at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. And it does show thunderstorms here, but there is no rain listed in the rain column. So any rain that falls between 7 and 8 will be registered in the next update. So hopefully there was some beneficial rain there. While I've got you on this, let me go ahead and go to the LCRA Hydromet page. And those of you who are, if you're ever curious, like where do I get rainfall totals? I love the LCRA Hydromet. It's hydromet.lcra.org. I've highlighted that at the very top. And what I'll do is I'll go to this page and I will scroll down and I'll do rainfall since midnight. And then I will add the county boundaries, and I'll, just for kicks, go ahead and add the current radar view so you can see that. And this, somebody in Travis County picked up over an inch of rain. So let's go ahead and zoom in and take a look, and I'll pull the stream overlay and watersheds off just because that's just extra unnecessary. Look at this. Okay, so Cow Creek near Lago Vista, 1.8 inches of rain. Sally, I'm not sure if you're still watching, but that's some good rain. Cedar Park, 3 miles southwest of Cedar Park, 1.28 inches, and that's right there on the Travis-Williamson County line. And it looks like 3/4 of an inch for Oak Springs Drive, Tannehill Branch, 1.15 inches at Bull Creek at Loop 360. In the last hour, 1.15 inches falling. So that may account for why that flood advisory is in effect. Let's go to Burnett County. 2.65 inches, 1 mile west-southwest of Burnett. So that's probably the biggest one. And in the last 2 hours, about 2.6 inches falling. Off into Llano County, some good pockets. Little Llano River near Llano picked up 1.69, 1.53 at San Fernando Creek near Llano. Mason County, unfortunately, the storms really didn't get going until after they were past you. Granted, we've been dealing with the drought, which has been awful. In fact, going to, just to kind of cross-reference for you where the worst drought conditions are, I'm going to toggle the radar loop off, or radar off, I should say, and I'm going to toggle drought monitor on. And so this gives you a good overlay of seeing where the worst drought conditions are. And lo and behold, the heaviest, most substantial rain does seem like it coincides with the areas that we're dealing with the worst drought conditions. That's something to get your wrap your head around and appreciate, right? So anyway, if you're ever curious, how much rain did I get? If you are in one of the locations that is included within the LCRA's hydromet sites, then you can log on to this site anytime and kind of zoom around and see how much rain fell. Now, the caveat is that if you live in Williamson County, Florence is the only LCRA gauge for Williamson County. So you can see that there. I don't know why my marker is so far off, but anyway, that's the Florence gauge. And then if you're in Milam County, the only gauge is this one right here in Thorndale. So slim pickings as far as what we can auto plot on the LCRA gauges. However, there's also the Upper Brushy Creek Water District, and they do have some rain totals on their website as well. So you have some options. And then there's another cool site that I like sharing, which is the Texas Mesonet. And this does include other gauges throughout different networks. So if you go to texmesonet.org, which I will highlight for you right here at the top of the screen, texmesonet.org, that's another really great resource to be able to check in on rainfall totals. And it has not only the LCRA gauges, but it also has some other gauges, which we will zoom in and see. These will include some of those Williamson County gauges from the Upper Brushy Creek Water District. However, oh, what a big difference. Take a look. We've got 1.2 inches, which fell west of I-35, southwest of Georgetown, and then that's not too far from Terra Vista, so that's probably over by where that concrete company is. I forget the name of it, but there's that big, like, huge quarry that's right there west of the outlets, and it looks as though that's probably where that heavy rain fell. And then it looks like on the east side of Round Rock, you didn't do too well. 0.18 inches and 0.14 inches, kind of near A.W. Grimes and over by north of the La Frontera area. But take a look at this, 2.1 inches, that was at Brushy Creek near Cedar Park, 2.1 inches of rain fell there. That's impressive. So it does vary depending on what part of town you're in. Looks like the just southeast of Cedar Park proper, one of the Brushy Creek dams picked up about 1/4 of an inch of rain. Farther to the south, Lake Creek and Lake Creek Parkway picking up 0.64 inches of rain. That's very close to Lakeline Mall area. Or actually, I take that back. That's a little east of Lakeline Mall area. That's closer to Highway 620, a little closer to Andersonville. And you head toward Jollyville, Fathom Drive picking up 1.12 inches of rain. But in contrast, Bull Creek Dam only picked up 1/4 of an inch of rain. So that's kind of the nature of these storms. They were somewhat hit and miss. But anyway, this is another great repository for rainfall information in case you guys are ever interested in knowing where I get all the stuff I get. So if you are in Travis County, it looks like things have sufficiently quieted down. And if you were planning outdoor activity, general rule of thumb, when you see lightning, start counting. And then when you hear thunder, for every 5 seconds between seeing the lightning and hearing the thunder, that means the storm is 1 mile away from you. Reason being, light travels faster than sound. So I always, when I do school talks and talk to kids, I'm always like, so when you start counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and then you hear the thunder, that's 1 mile away. In general, you want storms to be at least 10 miles away before you can safely like resume your activities. And another general rule of thumb is that you want to wait 30 minutes after the last audible thunder before, let's say, you head back into the swimming pool, for instance. So I'm pleased to say things do look like they are quickly turning less in the way of strong, and then we're fortunately still able to enjoy and reap the benefits of some beneficial rain, which is great news. You know what else that means? That means it's calmed enough that I think I can take the boys out. I know Skipper has been sitting next to me, and I'm starting to feel like the guilty dog mom because I know he walks down in his crate, and neither one of them have been out this morning because obviously I didn't want to take them out when it was thundering because of safety things. And besides that, I don't know about you, but if you have pets, your dogs probably don't enjoy going out in the middle of a storm, as dangerous it is anyway. Oh, Rob, you're so nice. She says one of the best Twitter follows you made back in 2018. Has it really been that long? My goodness. Ken says heavy rain, thunder. Okay, we saw that one from Pflugerville. And Francisco, who's making the pancakes. You know what? No pancakes today. You know why? Today is National Cheese Day. So I was thinking I might do a cheese omelet or something like that. Although we do still have leftover giant-sized Round Rock donut. We have been eating at it for the last 24 hours. We still have some yet to eat. But I was thinking maybe like a cheese omelet or something like that. And then cheese pizza for lunch. And I've got this port wine cheese spread that I was thinking would be delicious for like a little afternoon snack, or maybe some cheese with wine. You never know. There's options. But I'm hungry too. Griselda has a plogging event coming up on your trail running group. Yay! That's so great. Thank you for doing that, Griselda. Fantastic. It's so cool that you can like get your exercise in at the same time as you help the environment, help clean things up. Rob says you can attest to the production and busyness, relieve when your grad school studies are done. See, I can't imagine having school as an added layer on top of everything else. Rob says, glad you have multiple observation systems compared to Boston using Logan Airport. Yeah, for those of you who may have either flown into Boston Logan Airport or may have ever visited New England or lived there, that is a really interesting place as far as microclimates are concerned, in that there will be some days where out at the airport, which is on the water, it might be, I don't know, let's say 65 degrees with a sea breeze, which is basically like an onshore wind. But then out west, 20 minutes in, let's say, a town called Natick or a town called Framingham, which is due west out the Mass Pike, 20 minutes away, if there's no traffic, it could be 90 degrees. I remember some summers where literally there would be a huge discrepancy in temperatures, and then also a huge difference because of the fact that you have ocean effect for things like snow totals too. There would be situations where it's raining in Boston and like 30, 32, 33 degrees in the middle of winter in Boston and raining. But then inland, like 20 miles or whatever, it could be 20 inches of snow. And it's been a while. I haven't lived in Boston forever, but I don't recall there being such an extensive meso network, if you will, as what the LCRA has with its hydromet. So we are certainly blessed to have that in almost real time. It's such a treasure trove of information, from temperatures to rainfall data, etc. As you can see, the heaviest still falling through northeastern sections of Travis County, moving east to Pflugerville, across toward Manor, Elgin, and now starting to approach the Bastrop area. So all of that with this MCV, the Mesoscale Convective Vortex. Hope says, yes, love those pool days. I know it's been forever though, hasn't it? Sally says, yay, thanks. You are very welcome. My pleasure. Steven says, glorious rain. Same for your pup. Butch says, electricity just went out though. Ah, bummer. Let me go back to the power outage map. We showed that earlier, and we can get updates, see where things stand now. So here we go, power outage map. In case you're wondering what this site is, I'm just all about educating today. This is called poweroutage.us, and it's a great site because you can actually use it and you can click on each county to see how many outages there are. So currently for Williamson County, there are 70 outages for Encore and 530 outages from Pedernales. And let's check in on Burnett County. 218 out with PEC in Burnett County. Let's check in on Travis County. 2,000 in Austin Energy and 91 in PEC are out of power right now. And Llano County, 105, and that's Central Texas Electric Cooperative. I'm curious to see if Bastrop County has had any so far as the storms are moving in. Nope, no customers are out in Bastrop County. So anyway, it's super handy to be able to check in and see how the power outage situation is with any storm system. And as these storms continue progressing eastward, don't discount the possibility of some more isolated outages developing. Butch says, thanks for the much needed rain. Of course, you bet. Rob says, the fun, weird part about Beantown days. Yeah, keeping it weird in Austin. Dwayne, good morning to you. You have an awesome day as well. By the way, the reason I'm looking down is because normally the comments that you make pop up just above my little mugshot down there in the lower right. But I'm reading them off my phone in this case. And Rob says, Harvey Leonard retired. I know. So one of the deans of weather in Boston, a gentleman named Harvey Leonard, who is probably the kindest man you could ever meet and has held the hands of New Englanders for decades. So he basically had worked for many years at the station I worked at, which was Channel 7, and then he moved over to Channel 5 and had worked there for eons or whatever, and just recently retired. I want to say within the last week or two, and I need to reach out to him. But one of the things that I love so much is that years and years since I worked in Boston, Harvey and I still exchange Christmas cards, and he is an amazing man, and I have no doubt that during his retirement he will hopefully just enjoy with his family. Dwayne says your niece Ashley is watching. Hi Ashley, thank you for checking in. I know it's super early, 7:46, although if you're in school mode, then you're probably saying, yep, I'd be getting ready for school by now or at school. Stephanie says, pouring in Elgin, thank you for your report. Rob says, just like you, he loves the sports. It's awesome. Dwayne, thank you so much for your kind words. I appreciate it. So given that I think we have dodged the risk of seeing any of these turn severe, and that it's basically just playing that waiting game of watching and seeing skies clear and then watching temperatures warm up later on this afternoon, I am going to sign off. And Skippy, can I pick you up? He's like chilling right next to me. I gotta take this little guy out. You ready to go get your paws wet? Yes, I'll take you outside. So I think on our agenda now is going to be boys run out. Do you want a real walk or do you just want to go about back? I think the thunder and lightning have cleared for long enough. I think I'm going to take the boys for a walk actually, and then come back and maybe whip up some cheese omelets. Happy National Tuesday, you guys. Rob says, enjoy your day. Yep, got to do what we got to do. All right, everybody else, especially if you're in Bastrop County, yes, thunder, yes, lightning, yes, heavy rain, which we appreciate. Be safe, and at the worst, probably some 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts on the leading edge. Those of you watching in Lee County, Fayette County, you will likely see some of this push toward your area, but it is weakening as it goes. So with that, have a great rest of your day. Thanks as always for checking in. And guess what? If you want updates, you can go to stand by cbsaustin.com. By the way, I did toggle the interactive radar, so up at the top of cbsaustin.com, you can click on that link, and it shows scattered showers and storms moving out of the area. So there you have it. Austin Burks, our weekend meteorologist, will be doing his thing later on CBS Austin News. Be sure to tune into him for updates. There is one more possibility of another system pushing through later on this evening and tonight. It is another one where it's like not a sure bet that will actually materialize. It might or it might not. So stay weather aware just to be on the safe side. And after that, starting tomorrow, it's just heat. The triple digit factory is going to be kicking in. All right, you guys, thank you so much for checking in. Have a great morning. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.